We know more detail about how the Harris campaign is approaching this. They're very forthright about how much money they have and how they're deploying that across the country. But the Trump campaign, in its memo to interested parties, as they put it, say that they have a very strong ground game. They're confident in how that's going to play out here over these next few days. But when you look at the sheer number of people who are out there on the payroll, it is the Harris campaign that has the edge. And you see that just in the way that the candidates are approaching this race. Yes, Kamala Harris is doing big events. Donald Trump is doing big events. But I think it's safe to say he is relying more on the spectacle and celebrity of these big arena events than she is thinking that's going to trickle down to voters and get them animated.
You know, David, as you know, all the experts are telling us this is a toss-up here. When you're on the streets in Wisconsin, does it feel like a toss-up? Does it feel that tight?
Yes, it feels extremely tight. You hear that from the candidates. You hear that from those who are organizing for them. You hear that from the voters themselves, who are fatigued, tired of all the ads that are everywhere, the ads that are on TV, the ads that they're seeing on the side of the road as well. I mean, every other billboard is a political ad, either from the candidates or one of these political groups. So they're inundated by it, but there is this broad recognition that in that state, in particular in Wisconsin, but also Pennsylvania, things have changed. The terrain has shifted. It's a closer race than it has been in the
past.
David,
Charlie Cook writing a gorgeous essay here like 2 days ago as well. He talks about the lack of landslides, and then he's got a 15-line paragraph going from Bush-Gore all the way through to Trump 2016, then on to Joe Biden. And he's talking about the narrowness, the reality of the narrowness. So Pennsylvania, is it going to be 10,000 votes?
I think it's going to be extremely close. And I know that there are some skeptics who say maybe the polling is wrong, or there's something about it that's not quite right. It's going to be a wider margin yet. You know, what we do have in Pennsylvania, which is interesting, is some visibility into these early votes. You know who the state sent them out to and what parties they're affiliated with and which have come back. And so you see Democrats having an edge there. Fascinating, this story this morning. We've covered it. The Washington Post is covering it. New York Times covering it this morning as well, is the role of white women in the country broadly and in Pennsylvania in particular. It's a real difficulty for Democrats to claim them as supporters. And we look at the last election, Trump had them by a margin there. You look at the one before that, Hillary Clinton was the candidate, and still wasn't able to secure them to the extent that Democrats wanted them and needed them to do. So that is a big push for the Harris campaign and for Democrats now, is to go after that 30% of the electorate, which is, frankly, a part of the electorate who does show up on Election Day, does get to the polls.